Let's bring in Kim Forrest, the Chief Investment Officer at Bokeh Capital Partners. Kim, this stock, Alex on the call last night was in rare form, basically saying to the retail investors, you're welcome, we're doing it, come on in. What note of caution did you want to add here?
Well, let me not start off on the negative. Let me start off on the positive. This is exactly the kind of company I really, really want to succeed. It is more in my model of what I call small AI, which is not general or, large language model kind of one ring to rule them all solution, right? That these are tailored solutions using AI in great places. But I have some cautionary notes here. Firstly, everybody's saying, oh, look at this. This is a new enterprise company. But if you look at enterprise software company, but if you look at the financials, they don't look anything like an enterprise software company until you get to taking out the cost of shares that they're giving away to their employees. And then it looks like a software company. So what am I saying by this? There's a ton of people that make this happen, and that is more of a services company. So the second thing is, I think it's great that they're bringing in more commercial accounts, not government accounts. Having been an AI software developer that had some experience in government contracting, your margins are really compressed in that world. You are not allowed to get what you would get out in the world. So these are notes of caution that I have for investors in Palantir.
And let me just dig into them for a second, and then we can move on. But I think on a day like this, where suddenly Palantir is the new NVIDIA in terms of the public interest, it's important to kind of highlight two of these things. The stock-based comp and their expense on it is getting a lot of attention. And there are some going so far, Kim, as to suggest that they're enticing in retail investors to offload more shares onto them in order to kind of keep this going with the amount of stock-based comp that they're paying out. I don't know if anybody knows for sure whether there's something nefarious going on with that, but you think it's just a sign that it's not a highly efficient software business.
That's exactly it. And if you are a retail person, it behooves you to sit down and look at financials. Don't just go with the story, the vibe, the whatever you want to call it. This was a hallmark of companies that kind of, well, disappointed, we'll just say, in the dot-com era. Because, again, they were reporting, if you overlooked our stock-based compensation, we're a really great company. And I don't think anybody should do that, just straight up. And nefarious, I don't know. I'm just not that kind of person. I can't imagine anybody trying to, do something like that to an investor.
Yeah, no, it's more just kind of, again, you almost in these cases want to separate the fundamental story may be fabulous. Look, what Palantir has done for corporate America, by all accounts, is exciting and extraordinary, and they are early and very successful in kind of deploying AI. The other piece of this, though, is kind of a fundamental point that I just wanted you to kind of dwell on for a second, which is a lot of people love the fact that they do a lot of business with the government because it seems to kind of lock in customers, right? That's why Buffett likes utilities. They're kind of a monopoly.
Yes.
But you think there is a little bit maybe that they're giving up to the upside by relying too much, if they end up relying too much on the government partner instead of the private sector one?
Well, I think you have to dance with the one that brung you. The government was the first people that funded a lot of the stuff that they were doing, and I think that's right. And again, I worked at a company that was briefly public, and half of our business was government, and half of it was commercial, as we would call it. And I was billed out probably like 5 or 6 times higher on the commercial side. So those are dollars that are just never going to be gotten by the investor with this heavy reliance on government contracting. And yes, it's stable, it's wonderful, but I think it really limits your upside with respect to, returning shareholder value.